Brothers and sisters, today we would love to talk about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and today it's the day we're celebrating Jesus, who raised from the dead. Jesus lives forever. Let's talk about Mary. That's the most important part. I love to talk about this one, and well, let's want to understand what's going on. I always say that there is a lesson from Mary Magdalene. This Mary Magdalene went to the tomb, and then he went with the disciples who came to double check to see if Jesus is still in the tomb. They were surprised to see the women coming and telling them that Jesus is not in the tomb. So those disciples ran. You know the story about John running to the tomb. You know the story about Peter, Simon Peter running to the tomb. They went to see or to double check what the women were talking about. And they reached the tomb and checked. There were no Jesus inside the tomb. And they confirmed that the women were right. What they were saying was true. And it's sad, one of the sad notes in my Bible. I feel like it's sad because they say, then the disciples went away again to their own homes. After they did that, they went away to their own home. Discouraged, of course. For them, that was the end of everything. Forgot everything Jesus told them. But today we would like to see, how did Mary succeed to see Jesus? I think that could be even what title. How to succeed to see supernatural beings. How to succeed to see Jesus. You remember the Bible tells us, God tells, if you seek for him with all your strength, you see him. Remember Jeremiah 11, Jeremiah 20, let's say Jeremiah 11 verse 23. I don't want to look for it, but somewhere in Jeremiah it says that if we seek God with all our strength, he will elect himself. He will expose himself for us to see him. And it is important to know that our God, our Father, Jesus taught us, he is an invisible God. And those who come to worship him, our God is spirit. Those who come to worship him, they worship him in spirit. John 4:24. So it is important to try to, you as a follower of Christ, to understand how can you do it. Why do we miss it? We miss it with all those discouragement. We miss it when we don't focus on him. We focus on everything but Jesus. God give us the clue that if you seek for me, I think I'm still going to Jeremiah 23 verse in verse 13, verse 12, 13. You see that. You remember the place where it said that he have a plan for me, for you, a plan to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. And then a little bit in bottom, it says, if you seek for me, if you seek for me with all your strength, and I will let myself be seen. And here we're talking about Mary teaching us. She stays outside of the tomb. She said, I'm not going to go anywhere. They stole my Lord. She knew Jesus is her Lord. She knew that something is wrong. My Lord. It doesn't matter what's happened to him. He was killed, he was destroyed, and he was in his tomb. I don't see his body. I want to see clear what's going on. There's something big which happened, something discouraging, which it looked like the Lord is not there anymore. It looked like my hope is crushed. Maybe it's your case. Your hope is crushed. Maybe you lost a very important person in your life. Maybe you are not, maybe you have been discharged from your work. Maybe something's different. How are you looking at it? Are you discouraged? Are you completely out? Or you still seeing Jesus in it? That Jesus' body is not gone completely. The one we were looking at is gone. It's not gone completely. He is there. You're still looking at it. That's what Mary did. Mary Magdalene here taught us that stay still. The Bible says, the verse which the most important verse in this part, I don't know if I even read the chapter today, it's John 20, that's where we are, and verse 11, that's why I'm trying to insist the most. And it said, let me go to it so that we can be on the same page. It's important to talk Bible. So John 20 verse 11 says, now Mary stood outside the tomb crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white seated where Jesus' body had been, one of the head and one at the head and the other at the foot. They asked her, woman, why are you crying? Why are you crying? And they have taken my Lord away, she said, and I don't know where they have put him. So let's stop there first, because that's the most important part for me. That she stood down there. She didn't follow Peter. She didn't follow John, going home, back home, and just relax and forget about it. She stayed there. There is something important which is taken away from me. I'm not going to take my eyes off Jesus. Jesus lives forever. He is not gone. He's still somewhere. He is somewhere. I want that body. I'm not going to go anywhere. He focused. She wanted for Jesus. She wanted it. How bad do you want something which you lost? How bad do you want? How bad do you want that thing? How bad you want Jesus in your issues? Let's focus on Jesus in everything. He tells us in John 15 verse 5, he said, without me you do nothing. Yet, he said, if you accept me, I come and live in your heart. You remember when you confess that prayer, according to Romans 10:9, that you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and you believe in your heart that God, the Father, resurrected Jesus from the dead. And at that time, he comes and lives in you. And the Apostle Paul said in Galatians 2:22 that it's not me who lives, it's Christ who lives in me. Whatever I'm doing by the faith of Jesus Christ with me. So let's go back to this reading. At this point, I felt Mary stayed outside, looking in that tomb, looking at her issues, looking at us. Where is that? And all of a sudden, believe me, I'm still talking about. I don't know if you listen to my my meditation again on this. I still it's not the first time that Mary is looking in that tomb. She was there, as they say, women were there. She was among those. She looked inside her. They saw nothing except linen and so on. She went to call the disciples. She come with them, and they all looked inside. They'd see nobody there. And this time, after insisting, looking at her Jesus, she looked again and she saw those supernatural beings. She saw the angels there. Don't give up, my brother. Don't give up, my sister. Maybe you're sick and you're looking to Jesus, and you say, Jesus, when you look in that darkness, or where you look, maybe Jesus is gone. Maybe Jesus, don't move Jesus. Maybe Jesus left. But Jesus is still with you. There's still angels. There's still being, natural, supernatural being there. Keep looking. Don't give up. It is important to know that your persistence is important, because in this fight we have, there is also persistence. Keep looking. Don't really abandon. Don't let give up in what you believe is there. And the second point, you can see Mary, after being outside crying. For me, crying, it means that I still believe something is there. I don't think she cried completely in despair. It's done. No, she cries and her mind was on Jesus. And she cried and she said everybody is against her. Everything is against her. She looks with hope in that tomb, and there you go. As she wept, they say, she bent over to look into the tomb. What do you do when you think that everything is gone and you still have your Jesus in your mind? How do you do when everything, what do you do when you lost your job and you look, you still have Jesus, and there's the one who wants you to continue living in this world, the one who wants you to continue being happy. You want, it's still there. Keep looking. Don't give up. And you will see him. Somebody will call you. Somebody. But you have to take action. Here, Mary, she took action. I believe that's the sense, looking for the second time, the third, why not? For the second time, she looked again where she looked before. Boom. Suddenly, she saw the angels. I always strongly believe that those angels were not there for just all of a sudden. They were there even when they went before. They were there I tell that's my understanding. But before, when they looked, they didn't look deeper. They didn't look the way they have to look to Jesus. They didn't look with hope and determination. They didn't look with faith. She's looking with faith, and she saw the supernatural being. And she started having conversation with them. And they asked her, hello, why are you crying? Why are you weeping? What's going on with you? Are you all right? I think these angels are interesting. They were asking her in her sadness. On verse 13, they say, woman, why are you crying? They have taken my Lord away, she said, and I don't know where they have put him. And 14 revealed to us something interesting. At this, she turned around. After talking to them, somehow she turned around. Maybe somehow she heard a little noise behind her, and she had to turn and look. Oh, she saw somebody. Saw Jesus standing there, but did not realize that it was Jesus. But the opportunity even to see that somebody, Jesus, come, it's happened because she was there. How many times did we miss that Jesus because we were quick to give up? How many times did you miss this Jesus? Believe me, he raised from the dead. He lives forever. He's still around in your issues, in wherever he walks with you. He does things. Don't give up. You have to know Jesus. Jesus lives. Jesus is good. Jesus raised from the dead. Jesus is in your issues, your problem. Don't give up. Still looking. Keep looking. Look for the second time. Look once more. Don't give up. Mary did. She saw those supernatural beings. Mary did. Not only those supernatural beings. Jesus himself presented himself and talked to him. And Jesus knows you by your name. He will call by your name. He called her Mary, and she said, oh, Rabboni. It is important to know that Jesus knows you. When he calls you, you know. So don't give up. Keep fighting. Don't give up. Jesus needs you. Your solution is not far away. Don't give up. Refuse to die. Keep looking. Jesus is somewhere there, my friend. Don't give up. He is there. You're coming out. Focus on Jesus. The healing is there. The job you are looking for is there. Your hope is still there. Jesus will never leave you, never forsake. He lives. Look at Jesus. Look at Jesus with compassion, with determination. Don't give up. Don't waver. Focus on your Jesus. He lives forever. No one will touch him anymore. He's not going to leave you. He's not going to forsake you. Remember Hebrew 13 verse 5. And if you go Hebrew 13 verse 8, it tells us Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Happy Easter. Happy Resurrection Day. Don't give up. Our Jesus is with us forever. Stay blessed in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.